Today, we're going to continue our series focusing on the 10 essentials of Tai Chi. And we're on number 6 today. Use consciousness, not strength. Let me read what this says. This is entirely the use of mind and intent and not the use of strength. The entire body is loose and open. Avoid the use of the slightest bit of crude physical force. It causes blockage of the sinews, bones, blood vessels, and causes one to be bound up. Relaxed, one will be agile and circular rotations will come freely. Release of external strengths allows for the development of internal strength. If the body is stiff, Qi in the blood becomes stagnant. From the Tai Chi classics, arriving at the extreme of yielding softness, one afterward arrives at the extreme of solid hardness. The arms of those who are proficient in the skills of Tai Chi are like iron within cotton and extremely heavy. So before we get to moving and doing some of our movements, thinking about this essential, use consciousness, not strength. Let's talk a little bit about it. At its very basic, we don't want to muscle through our motions. We don't want to get all bound up and be tight as we're trying to brush knee or part the wild horse's mane. We're not muscling through. We do want to be loose and open, but that doesn't mean that we're not powerful. It doesn't mean that we're fluffy. Loose and open is not the same as just light and airy and fluffy. We're still rooted and grounded. We're still very powerful in our motions, but we're allowing that blood and oxygen to flow so that we don't have any stagnation. If we tense up, if we're bound up, there is stagnation and we actually lose energy. If you think about a boxer in the ring, they're not like this. They'll actually lose the fight if they do that. They're loose and relaxed coming into that fight. It's only at the moment of impact that they're really tight. But then they open up and they're loose again. That's what's needed. And that's what we're talking about with use consciousness, not strength. You don't want to rely on power in that external moment. You want to have that internal strength of using your intention and your awareness of what you're doing. Sometimes, we talk about blocks, blocking a punch or blocking a kick, and that is necessary in a fight sometimes. But sometimes it's also, if you're aware enough and using your intention of how to get to your opponent, sometimes it's better just to not be where that punch is going. Sometimes it's better to open up and then be able, with your intention, to come back at your opponent. So don't think of loose and open and relaxed as not being powerful. Remember that statement of the arms being heavy, having iron within cotton. That's really what it's talking about. We want to be agile and loose, but not fluffy and light. We're going to be changeable and remain balanced. When you're in a fight, if you're stuck to the ground and you're all bound up to the ground, you're not changeable and you're very easily toppled over. Whereas if you're open and loose and able to change your position and yet stay balanced, that's going to help you best against your opponent. So let me put my cheat sheet down here. And the first move I want to work on is wave hands like clouds, with the idea of being open and loose and allowing the oxygen and the blood and the energy to flow. So let's do our wave hands like clouds, but don't step yet. Just think about allowing that rotation, this circular motion, is actually helping you be relaxed. Think now about using your weight shift, bringing your Dianne over your base of support as you follow that rotation. This motion, this position of being open, loose, it's rounded. See, there's no sharp corners. My hands are not tight in like this. This is not powerful at all. This is wasting energy, whereas this nice open and rounded position is actually ultimately powerful. You're ready to address your opponent using consciousness, using your intent, your awareness, not strength. Let's step now with our wave hands like clouds. Stepping left and bringing that right in. Now thinking about your substantial and insubstantial changes. Keeping yourself open and loose. Now try to imagine the energy flowing through your body. Try to imagine the oxygen flowing, the blood flowing. There's no harsh corners. There's nothing for it to stagnate, to cause it to stagnate. Let's do our wave hands like clouds again with our breath. Taking a nice deep breath in. And then breathing out nice and slow and controlled. Try to imagine that oxygen getting to every single cell in your body. One more. And now let's look at two different movements, repulse the monkey and high pat on horse. If you think about it, repulse the monkey and high pat on horse are almost exactly the same movement. One is moving away from your enemy. The other is moving into the enemy. When you think about it in a fight, sometimes it is best to move back and get away. Sometimes it's best to move into your opponent. You actually have the advantage at that point, especially if it's someone who's larger than you are. You don't want to be at the end range of long legs and long limbs. You need to be in to have an advantage if you're smaller like me. So with repulse the monkey, let's think about the intention, using our consciousness, not our strength, thinking about the agileness of this turning motion, where this is actually where the power is, right? As you turn and push your opponent away. That's actually where that power is in that turning motion. And we need to be agile. We need to remain balanced. And you can see how with both wave hands like clouds and repulse the monkey, we're not forgetting the first 5 essentials. These all tie in. They all tie together, where you need to understand where your weight is, your substantial and insubstantial. You need to keep those shoulders dropped, elbows dropped to remain relaxed. Now think about your intention. If you are ultimately balanced and this front leg is empty, You don't have to step back with it. You can step forward into your high pat on horse. That's where that idea of consciousness, using your awareness, using your intention of what I want to do against my opponent is actually very important. Try your repulse the monkey again. You're completely balanced. You choose to step backwards. It's not that you're light and fluffy, you're rooted and grounded, but you have the power to use your intention now to step forward into your opponent. You're not wasting energy by being all bound up. You know what you are trying to do and responding and actually planning in your fight what you're doing. If you think about stagnation, right, a pool of water that's stagnant, that's not moving, it dies. Stagnation is not good. We don't want our blood and our oxygen and our energy to stagnate anywhere in our body. When we get to where we're trying to muscle through something and we're relying on that muscular power, we can actually cause something to be bound up and stagnate. One of the moves that I know is difficult for everyone is snake creeps, pheasant stance. Try practicing snake creeps with the intention of being open, rounded, relaxed, not trying to muscle through and getting into balance by being strong into that pheasant stance. So let's try that. Forming your bird's beak, having your weight on that right column, stepping out, relax into your snake creeps. Let your body rotate and come gently into your pheasant stance. If going low, if you go too low with this, too low for your body, right, then you do start to have to kind of muscle through. I've got to rely on my strength to pull myself forward. I don't want you to do that. I want you to practice in such a way that you can be relaxed and it feels circular. It feels open and loose. So bringing that weight to the right, stepping out with your left. Just go to where you feel comfortable. Let your body be rounded, open. Use the circular motion and come into your pheasant stance. That one in particular is one that I will challenge you over the next week to practice coming into your snake creeps, pheasant stands on both sides of the body, being as relaxed as possible, thinking about not allowing stagnation to occur by being tight and bound up like this. So obviously we're talking about sense of an opponent with this whole idea of using consciousness, not strength. Let's do the ward off sequence together. Holding the ball, stepping out, using that rotation to allow your body to relax. Grasp the bird's tail. Rotating as you pull back, rotating again, allowing the Dianne to lead. Remember those first 5 essentials don't go away. Bringing your weight over to the right, back to the left, stepping out, ward off. Grasp the bird's tail. Roll back. Rotate and press. Pushing chi. Now let's do it again. And let's think about our breath flowing all the way through our body, taking a nice deep breath in here, breathing out as we ward off. Grasp the bird's tail. Breathing in as we roll back. Breathing out as we rotate and press. Breathing in, coming towards your body. Breathing out as you push against your opponent. Breathing in as you gather the energy. Breathing in that good oxygen. You're going to let it flow through your body because it's open and loose. There's no stagnation. There's no harshness. Pushing chi. Now let's do ward off again, thinking about the different energies as we ward off. It's a pong. As we roll back, it's lu. It's a yielding. As we rotate and press, it's ji, pressing into your opponent. And then on, down and up. Bringing your weight over to one, bringing it over to the left, stepping out, ward off. Grasp the bird's tail. Roll back. Rotate and press. Pushing chi. Now let's do it one more time together. Bringing your weight over to the right. Think about how using consciousness, not strength, allows you to flow from one movement to the next. Pushing chi. Bringing your weight over to the right. Bringing it back to the left. Stepping out, ward off. Grasp the bird's tail. Roll back. Rotate and press. Pushing chi. So you can tell using consciousness, not strength, is very foundational to Tai Chi. It's very unique to Tai Chi. We're not relying on external strengths. Remember when it said release of external strengths allows for the development of internal strengths. I want you to think about being strong from the inside out. The arms of a good Tai Chi practitioner are like iron within cotton. It's a different way to look at movement. It's a different way to look at addressing an opponent. So use consciousness, not strength.